What's up guys, James Downton here, and welcome to another RWBY review. And today I'll be reviewing episode 10 of this season 6, entitled Stealing from the Elderly. Now, I actually enjoyed this title for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it actually fits the episode pretty well and it's understandable. The second reason is, I can just imagine, especially after watching Maria in this episode, her actually stating this line, or saying this line, when they're making the plan. It just fits her character really well, and she does, for the most part, kind of steal the show a little bit. For this episode at least. So, in terms of the actual plan, we find out that the plan is for Weiss to pretend to want to go back to Atlas and be like her sister. However, what she's really doing is she's sneaking Maria on board the ship. And while that's happening, we have Blake going off and taking down the communications. So, nice solid plan. However, it doesn't go as planned. Simply because we've got Crow, who not only is the least optimistic about this plan, but his semblance is basically bad luck to himself or anyone else around him. As well as the fact is, we have a returning character in Adam. Now, Adam was last seen in the first episode, basically just showing us, the viewers, what has become of him and the Faunus sort of group. The White Fan. So, those are two major things that have actually stopped this plan from succeeding. Okay, so, what happens as a result of the plan not working is, basically, after a bit of teasing and back and forth banter between Maria and the base captain, Cardinal, Cardinal then jumps into a mecha robot suit thing and goes off on a rant about how the people of the town have forgotten about how great Atlas military is and wants to give them an example. So she's now chasing down Weiss and Maria, who are on their way to Team RWBY and the others. So basically that's happening in one end of the episode, and in the other end we have Blake and Adam facing off against each other. But basically Adam just wants to take Blake back with him, and Blake just wants to be rid of Adam, basically. This scene, however, is done very well, as it shows just how sort of fearful Blake is of Adam. She's terrified from the looks of it, however she can still fight back, and so that's a plus side for her character. Now, in terms of music and sound effects, the sound effects were all pretty good, and music was quite nice. It was quite mellow. There was nothing sort of outstanding this week, much like last week's episode, but it was still nice and subtle and it worked well. Animation. The animation quality was consistent throughout. It was okay, except for a few shots of Crow that kind of looked a bit like stick figures. As in, it looked like he's lost a lot of weight. And, I don't know, it just seemed a bit off for me. Might have been alright for everybody else, but for some reason I thought it was a bit off. Now, the fight scene between Blake and Adam. Again, like I said earlier, it was a great way to show how Blake still feels about Adam. She's still pretty scared of him. And it does a good job for the opposite, to show how Adam feels about Blake. The choreography of the fight was nice. Blake was running away while Adam was taken down. It shows us Adam's semblance again, sort of reintroduces us to that. As well as the fact that it sets up for a possible 2v1 situation between Yang and Blake versus Adam himself. Now, like I said, on the other side we have Maria and Weiss taking Cardinal to RWBY and the others. So this will be another battle that's going to be taking place next episode, hopefully. So, overall this episode was good. It had a bit of action, a bit of comedy, and the plot is moving along at a slow pace, but it's moving. So, I've got a bit of a prediction for next week's episode, and it's a bit of an out there one, but it's one that could possibly happen. So hear me out. Right, so this situation between Blake and Adam is being set up so that Yang can go and help her. Now, we know that Yang is suffering still from the trauma of losing her arm to Adam, and it would make sense for her not to be able to confront Adam in a way such as Blake can. So I can see a scenario happening in which Blake is forced to go with Adam, because if not, Yang will be injured severely, which would then give Yang more of a sort of role within the series of RWBY, because at the moment she hasn't got anything going for her. In season 5 she had the whole ordeal with her mother, and now she slightly has that sort of trauma of Adam, but she needs to work to get over it. And having Blake go with Adam, involuntary, will just work out nicely because it'll give her something to do. However, they need to be careful not to diminish Blake's character too much by doing this. But that's just a little idea that I've come up with that might be possible. Let me know if you have any ideas or theories down below in the comments. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my review. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, it will help me out. And if you're new, consider subscribing, where I do more content like this, as well as other sort of videos like Let's Plays and discussion videos. But other than that, my name's James Downton, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.